Guys, welcome to our Champions League prediction. You guys have all been waiting for this. We had to really gather our thoughts because we were just there's so many emotions in it that are gonna come out. So yeah, I'm Fabrizio,
Marco,
Gabriel,
and yeah, this is Calcio Worldwide. All right, guys, who wants to say it first? Should I say it?
Go ahead.
One of you. Well, that was a final.
No, it was. Yeah, no, seriously.
I mean, listen, I wanted both teams to lose, so this, maybe, I don't care as much as the loss, but what a terrible display from both sides.
Yeah, as a neutral, I'm not saying I was a neutral, but I'm saying as a neutral, if I was a neutral, that's a terrible final. Both teams didn't produce what we thought they were gonna produce. City playing this beautiful football throughout. Everything getting to the final, they didn't do much. I'm sorry. They were also scared throughout the game. We'll get into that. And Inter too, they didn't just produce. It was boring. It was a boring final. Seriously.
Yeah, they didn't play their game at all. You were saying that, Gab. Would you care to add to that?
I mean, this is like a final that reminds me of a FIFA match where you're playing a very tough opponent, but no one wants to take a risk.
Yeah.
When someone is just possessing the ball all game. And I really felt in this game that, you know what the fans want, the people like us, we want a game where take risks, tons of goals. But let's be honest, in a final, you're not going to get that. It was a poor performance in a final, but you have to look at it in a coach's perspective.
Yeah.
They
didn't want to take a huge risk because even if City took a huge risk, Inter could have won that game.
Inter actually should have won that game with that chance with Lautaro Martinez and just
many chances.
That was just a very selfish display. That out of all the things he could have done, that was the least. That play just made no sense. Lukaku beat his man. He was wide open. A 5-year-old would have made that pass, and Lukaku would have scored.
No, it's really selfish.
I don't like the hate Lukaku's getting. They're saying Lukaku played out of position. Lukaku was the only forward for Inter that did something.
That is true.
That is true, but I feel like...
Yes, he should have put those chances in, but, what were you going to say?
I was going to say he should have put the chances away because it's all this hype for him. Especially me. I thought he was going to score, and the fact that, everything was to the keeper, and then DeMarco, he stops. I know it wasn't really his fault, but come on. Bro, your instinct is to not get out of the way when someone's behind your teammate's hitting it. Come on.
If we're going to be honest, most players on both sides played absolutely awful. There's a couple that I'd say had a good game, but not a fantastic game.
Rodri, mainly the defensive players that had a good game.
The defensive players and
some midfielders.
And some Rodri on City.
Barella had a good game. Brozovic had a great game.
Brozovic had a great game. Barella was so-so.
I thought Barella had a good game.
He does what he usually does, just go back and forth.
I feel like Barella should have... Barella underperformed. Let's be honest. Barella underperformed.
No, a lot of them did.
The whole team. I wouldn't say Barella underperformed. I just feel like the attacking players like Dzeko, Lukaku, and Lautaro didn't offer a lot because as a midfielder, if your forwards aren't offering...
And let's talk about City. Their forwards were completely absent. Erling Haaland, when De Bruyne was on, we said if De Bruyne's off, it's a complete different game.
That's what I said. De Bruyne, guys, okay, De Bruyne wasn't man-marked. He got injured, and he was out of the game. And look what happened with Haaland. And you know what's crazy? I think De Bruyne gave him that first pass for the first chance of the game for Haaland.
Yeah.
Okay, he missed it. Haaland got nothing after that because De Bruyne is the key.
Yeah.
He's the link. Yes, they have Gundogan. Yes, they have Rodri. But the link to Haaland is De Bruyne.
And that's what we said. And people, the Ballon d'Or is it's a garbage trophy. Let's be honest, because award, not a trophy. But why? Because it's a popularity contest. It should be the top goal scorer award because now we all know they're gonna give it to Haaland.
And I don't think he deserves.
He's the best. Performance-wise, he's the best goal scorer in the world. No doubt. But Kevin De Bruyne was the reason Manchester City even had any sort of success this season.
But I don't know if he deserves it. I don't know who deserves it.
It's
Kevin De Bruyne
It's a challenging year because there wasn't... Usually it's Messi and Ronaldo that have these outstanding years. Now you got Mbappe and Haaland coming up. But I had an argument with someone the other day where they told me Haaland deserves it. He scored 56 goals in 53 games. I'm like, yeah, that's very impressive.
That's a casual's answer.
But the thing is, if you really watched Haaland in the big games this season, I haven't seen he hasn't shown that Ronaldo quality where Ronaldo would step up in the big games.
Exactly.
Like, against Liverpool this season, he didn't step up. Against Madrid, I think Kevin De Bruyne should win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, forget even Cristiano, bro. Luis Suarez for Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's the best Premier League striker of all time.
Yeah.
But even like Rooney and Aguero,
Yeah.
they would come up in big moments.
Yeah, that hat trick against Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Aguero is still the better. I mean, Haaland has a lot of years left in his career. I mean, he's just started.
To improve his game.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
I'm not taking away anything from Haaland. The amount of goals he scores is ridiculous, but like this was the big one.
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or. No.
I don't think he's there yet for the Ballon d'Or.
But even then, I do not want to hear the excuses. Also, De Bruyne didn't play. That's why City was so poor. Otherwise, they would have destroyed Inter. That's just not the case. I mean,
I think what this Champions League final proved was that we got a lot of hate on the comments saying, "Oh, Serie A is way behind La Liga and the Prem," but this final and other finals have showed that we're not. Yeah, I get it. We didn't win.
We lost. God, we lost.
We lost, but I'm saying, like,
behind.
Think about it. They're saying that they're way ahead of us. That's not true.
No, that's not true.
They are ahead of us, but we lost 1-0.
Especially with all the money pumped. If we had that money, Serie A tactically is better than La Liga. Well, La Liga's hard to say, but definitely better than the Prem.
Tactically, yes, but no one's gonna understand that.
No.
Like, you don't.
Because most people don't watch the game. They don't play football.
But that's also why we've been also losing, because we're over tactical in the sense, like, everything.
And we don't take our chances. Inter, we're too passive.
So we can talk our talk for we're technically the best in the world, but
let's
we can get
more
over tactical.
in depth in the game. Like, what did you guys think?
Well,
what did you think?
I was like. Inter played too passive. That's what cost them. I think Inter actually, they had the bigger chances, you could say. I still think you say Inter played better. I don't think so. I think it was 50-50. And we say this. The Prem, they have more balls than Serie A. Manchester City didn't really display that much either. But they had that one chance and they took it. Inter had a more clear-cut chance, the Lautaro play. I will continue reference that. Because that should have been a goal. And that was when it was 0-0. If Inter scored that, you already know what was going to happen. They were gonna play the catenaccio.
Yeah.
But Inter, we said Inter when they play aggressively, that's when they win. When they play, that wasn't aggressive what they did. They played scared. And for all the hype Manchester City's getting, the media don't believe this crap. Okay, because best team of all time, one of the best teams of all time, Pep, this master manager.
I saw some people
Kevin
say,
De Bruyne, one of the best midfielders of all time. This is all nonsense.
I see someone said, like, oh, they come close to Barca and Real. Like,
that is just stupidity.
What I really got upset about was someone said this Man City team is top 3 treble winners of all time.
No, but
right away,
one of the worst treble.
Not one of the worst.
I thought of one team. You think this Man City team is better than Bayern Munich 2013? Because I'm telling you, that Bayern Munich team is, I think, one of the only teams that can beat Barca's treble winning team.
Barcelona 2015 and 2009. That's just or 2011. Sorry,
Ajax in 72.
Ajax in 72 would kill this. I mean, this City team is a joke. Okay,
Inter 2010. I think wins.
Compared to the big, we look at the past 5 years. Like we said, football has gone downhill. Okay, there was nobody left to challenge Manchester City. They beat a Real with no prime players on their team. They either have really old players or really young players.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Bayern Munich with no striker. That was their biggest competition. And a rising Inter side. Rising. Now they're going to go downhill again.
You don't know that.
I think you nailed it, though. That's the truth. Because, a lot of people are saying Man City this season they have been the best team this year. But the reason is, look at the Premier League. Liverpool was their main competition. If it wasn't Liverpool, it was Chelsea. They went down this year. Arsenal, everyone knew Arsenal was going to blow the league. Everyone knew that.
I called it from the start.
No, we all did.
Yeah.
Then in the Champions League, like you said, all right, they played Leipzig. They absolutely annihilated them, which everyone knew was going to happen. Now you got Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is not strong this year. They didn't have a striker. They literally...
Their top scorer was 16 goals.
They almost lost the league to Dortmund.
Yeah.
The last day.
And if it wasn't for Dortmund blowing it,
the Arsenal
they would
of
have
the
lost.
Bundesliga.
On top of that, I think you nailed it with Real Madrid. Because Real Madrid last season, they won the Champions League, and they won it because Benzema was like in his prime. This season,
not even in his prime. He just had his time to shine. The fact, look. Oh wait, sorry. Go ahead.
But the thing is, like, Madrid against City this season, we saw the game. I mean, Modric is still on the level of being the best midfielder in the world, but like you said, their players are all old. And then the young ones are still young. City's, all their players are in their prime.
I think you're discrediting them because like you're underhyping them. I'm not. They are overhyped. Listen, they are overhyped, but they're not a joke because.
Nah, I don't say a joke compared to. I'm talking a joke compared to even the past decade of Champions League winners. Forget about the treble. The only team of the past Champions League winners that I could see City beating is Chelsea. Which that was also
what about Tottenham? Oh no, the Wizards.
Tottenham didn't win. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even think like
Liverpool Liverpool would definitely beat this team.
Yeah, I think this City team's phenomenal. I really do. But
phenomenal.
Very good.
Come on.
Very good, yes.
But
phenomenal.
I think Liverpool's team that won the Champions League against Tottenham, I think that Liverpool team would win.
I think it'll be close, but this team isn't beating Bayern Munich. Even the 2020 version. This team, and we're talking past decade, it's not beating Real Madrid. It's not beating Barcelona. Forget about even the winners.
It's not beating Juve.
It's not beating the finalists. It's not beating Atletico Madrid. It's not beating Juve.
No.
It's not. It's not.
People are gonna say, oh, but on the field, like they play this very good style. But you have to understand, it's not also like this attractive football that wins you like these tournaments. Like you said about Juventus's team in 2015 and 2017. If Real Madrid and Barca, let's say, didn't exist, that Juventus team would have probably won 3 Champions Leagues already.
That Juventus team would have probably dominated. Atletico Madrid might have.
Them too. That Atletico Madrid team was crazy.
Or Bayern has it. Yeah. I mean, look, guys. Another thing that I keep people saying, De Bruyne, one of the best midfielders of all time. Now, if you really understand this sport, or you're not in the media, you're not getting paid to hype these players up, and you're not just some casual fan scrolling on TikTok or whatever the you guys use now, just watch how they play. Kevin De Bruyne is not on the level of Modric, not even now, an old Modric. He's not on the level of a Kaká in his prime.
There's a lot of players.
Who else could you compare him? Rivaldo, he's on the level. Iniesta,
Pirlo.
He's not on that level.
Ruud Gullit.
And people are saying, oh, if he wins that Champions League, he's on the level of those players.
No.
First of all, it took him 12 years to win the Champions League. Second, guys, trophy or not, there's been garbage players that have won the Champions League too. He's
not
one of
a garbage player.
He's not.
No. Let me add to that. Kevin De Bruyne is not a garbage player. He's not. Obviously, he's one of the best players in the world. You could say, I think he deserves to win the Ballon d'Or this year. Obviously, he's not. I'm not saying that. But to put him on the level of the greatest midfielders of all time is absolute nonsense.
I think, though, he is one of the greatest midfielders of all time in the Premier League.
In the Premier League,
yes. But not in the world.
Kevin De Bruyne is one of the greatest midfielders of his generation.
Yeah.
Generation. He's not even the best of his generation.
No, he's one of.
But he's...
he's one of. People said, look, he's one of the best in the Prem ever, but I'm not going to lie, I'd rather take Yaya Toure.
Of course.
That's different positions. If you want to talk similar, I'd rather take Steven Gerrard.
Yeah,
I'd rather take Stevie G.
There's a lot of players that I'd rather take, but don't get me wrong, he's done a lot. But something I wanted to say in this game that I really thought about was the game was won 1-0, right? And going back to Bernardo Silva in the goal. If you've watched Manchester City this season, what they thrive in, not even this season, ever since Pep came, they play really wide.
Yeah.
They play their wingers really wide, and they love to create 2v1 or 3v1 situations. That's their main thing. If you really watch City and you highlight one thing about their game, you say, what is their main thing that will break down teams? 3v1 situations. Now, what's Inter's main thing, if you watch them all season? Top. Long balls to Lukaku and Lautaro, and then the wing-backs get in behind, and a midfielder like Barella or Çalhanoğlu gets in the middle and gets that second ball and finishes it off.
I think Inter did a good job stopping the 3v1. That's why City were having so much trouble scoring. Acerbi played great.
Played amazing.
All three, Damian, Bastoni, and Acerbi were good.
Yes, I thought DiMarco had a great performance too, but what it came down to is none of these guys did the over-the-top balls that we always see.
They tried it one time when Lukaku was on, and it worked.
And exactly.
Yeah. And that's why I got frustrated.
No, I don't think the wingbacks had their best game. Like, DiMarco didn't have his best game.
He was better than Dumfries.
Yeah, Dumfries had his game. But DiMarco, you can't praise him. He didn't have his best game.
Yeah, I mean, as far... Listen, I think Inter actually could have won this game. And this is how you know the media lies to you guys. Manchester City, they're this great team. They're going to run circles around Inter. They're going to destroy them. They didn't. Inter could have won this game. They played absolute garbage too.
No, City. I told you guys, City looked nervous in one part of the game. Like, they looked really nervous. Like, they were losing the ball. They weren't tracking back on defense. Their lines are getting broken. Like, it was bad.
This was a 50-50 game.
Yeah,
and City took their chance. Like I said, the Serie A team's got to start having that winning mentality.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, that winning mentality comes from playing to your strengths instead of playing to the opponent's weaknesses. That's how a real top coach thinks. Like, if you really think about your team, you're like, I'm going to use my team's strengths even if it's going to, like, take a risk. And what I'm saying is Man City's goal summed up everything for me. They created that 3v1, 2v1 situation, dragged out Bastoni out, they scored. Inter didn't do that. Something Inter's known for doing, if you're an Inter fan, you know this. They like to overlap their center backs. Bastoni loves to get forward. They tried that in the 80th minute, and they got a big chance. Inter lost this game because they didn't play to their strength.
But I thought Inzaghi got it also wrong with the subs coming on late, too.
I think he should have started Lukaku over
and that,
Dzeko.
Honestly,
Gosens should have came on earlier.
Yeah, that too. And then, Lukaku maybe should have started.
Lukaku was the only striker on the pitch, and I really hate that people are hating on this guy. I'm not a fan of him. You're not a fan of him either. But the truth was, did Lukaku have this masterclass game? No. I'm not saying that. Did he play great? No. I'm not even saying that either. But compared to relative to the other strikers, Lautaro, who played an awful game.
Dzeko played awful. He didn't do much.
Lautaro just had poor decision making. Dzeko was completely absent.
Yeah,
Lukaku should have started over him. Haaland was completely absent after De Bruyne got hurt.
He was.
No,
he was. I think if they put on Alvarez, I think he would have scored.
I can't even recall him touching the ball after that.
No, Acerbi had him the whole game.
Yeah.
Acerbi was phenomenal.
Haaland is not this masterclass player that individually he
also 22,
he could create something.
That's
true, but you could tell a lot by a player.
But he might be, maybe in like 28, when he's 28, he might be unstoppable. Because right now he's 22. Like, he still has insane potential.
I'll be honest though, I think playing under Pep, if he stays in City, I think it's gonna ruin him.
He's not gonna. He wants to play every game.
Also, the squad depth in this game played like a big part of it. I looked at Inter's bench. Like, look, they brought on Bellanova, who I think is a good prospect for Italy in the future. But last season, if you guys recall, Inter had a star player. He was their player of the season, Ivan Perisic.
Oh, yeah.
If he played in this final, I guarantee you he would have made a huge difference in this game. But that's what I'm saying. Inter, they don't got that money like City do.
I think they should invest
but
in some players.
I don't think this has anything... Inter lost this game because they lost mentally. And Manchester City could have made this they could have even capitalized on that more. But they also lacked it too. This was just a poor performance from both sides. It was a terrible display of football.
But all three Italian teams have one thing in common: they don't finish their chances. They don't take their chances at all.
They don't take risks.
They don't take risks, and they don't take the chances.
They shit their pants in the final.
Sevilla, West Ham, and City all took risks and took their chances. They, what's it called?
The Roma game was a bit.
It was a robbery.
Yeah.
Yes, but still,
safe.
The last thing we should say before we close this out. What does this say about Serie A? What does this say about everything?
We're not where we're supposed to be. We will be soon, maybe in a few years. But right now, it's just like our best team. Listen, we were talking about this. The team that really represents Italy is you guys. And if you guys look terrible, what does that say about Serie A? You know what I mean? No, seriously. If you guys look terrible, like, what does that say about Serie A? Yeah, Inter, they don't have the balls to represent Serie A. Seriously, I gotta give it to you guys. You guys have been representing us for the past.
But now we're completely.
But then what does that say about Serie A?
There's
a lot.
Make a comparison though, because like you said, the question, what is the state of Serie A now? I remember back in 2017 when Juve got to the final. I told you, I was like, Serie A is going up. because Juve's made 2 finals in the last 2 years. But if you think about it, no other teams did anything. Now this season,
no other teams capitalized on that.
It was just Juve. But this season you had so many that went to the finals, but they all lost. So this is what I'm trying to say. Serie A is like, it's weird. If Juventus does well, everyone else does bad. But if everyone does well and Juventus isn't doing well, we don't do anything. So what I think needs to change in Serie A is the big teams, the big 3, Inter, Milan, and Juve. They really need to like get these finances up. They need to get these world-class players, but like they did back in the day, and challenge every single year. While the Roma, Napoli, and Lazios should be doing what they did this season. Make a final, make a semi-final here and there.
I'm pretty sure they don't have this much. I read something, but it was a while ago. They don't know how to sell their rights properly, like Serie A apparently. And that's why the Prem makes a lot more money than Serie A, because they don't know how to sell their rights properly. I forgot what it was specifically.
TV rights.
So, but like Serie A got like
rights,
5 million
rights.
or something like that. Okay, but like they just don't know how to sell their rights. Apparently.
You know what? If you're, I'm just to close this off. Inter played horrible. This does look bad for Serie A. However, don't buy into this media what they're saying. Really study and analyze the game, because Manchester City's display wasn't so great as people are telling you.
It's all about perspective. For us Italian fans, there's hope. For the rest of the world,
I don't know if there's hope, but
there's hope. It's a glimmer.
We'll talk about this in the next one. Okay, guys. Well, that does it for this episode. Tune in for our next one, where we actually talk about the state of Serie A as a whole. We'll talk about all these stupid decisions all these Serie A teams are making in their management. But yeah, hope you guys like the video. Like and subscribe if you do. Check us out on TikTok and on Instagram. Follow us on that. Links on our channel, and yeah. End of episode.
See you next video. End of episode. End of.